negligible. On the unofficial HBO scales, they both rehydrated to 140 pounds, so not a big edge either way. Time for the rules with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Casamayor Michael Katsidis fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3-knockdown rule. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight in case it is caused by an accidental headbutt. We go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Bob!
All right, Harold Letterman, much anticipation, and here comes Yoel Casamayor, 410 amateur bouts. When we spoke with him yesterday, loose, relaxed, and he said, I'm not going to wait on Katsidis.
Casamayor is a great, or at least was a great fighter. You know, you don't want to throw that word around, but he's beaten Diego Corrales, Jose Luis Castillo, the reigning #1, or at least perceived #1 lightweight, Nate Campbell. He's one of the most decorated amateur fighters of all time, over 400 amateur fights. Does he have enough left? Katsidis isn't going to be, trying any tricks. He's coming right at Casamayor.
He says he's as hungry as he's ever been, and one of the main reasons why he's so hungry, he says he's got to feed 9 mouths. He's got 9 kids to
and they're hungry.
His mom came in from Cuba, although she did not make the trip for the fight. He said she gets too nervous, but she blessed me over the phone on Friday. The 1992 Olympic gold medalist, defecting to the United States, former lightweight champion, former super featherweight champion of the world. He feels that he's going to answer the questions that'll be put before him tonight against Michael Katsidis.
Excuse me, I said that he'd beaten Jose Luis Castillo. It was a close fight. He lost on points.
Took 2 out of 3 from Diego Corrales. So Yoel Casamayor, 36 years of age, he'll turn 37 this summer. Very pleased with the way his training went, working with Roger Bloodworth again. Said, we sparred every other day. We didn't spar as much as he had in preparation for the Santa Cruz fight. He said, hey, I know how to manage my body. I've been at this a long time. You got to take care of a veteran fighter. Now we're awaiting the emergence of Michael Katsidis, the 27-year-old from Australia. His father is a native of Greece. His mother is Australian. He's got himself all fired up for his walkout. Lennox, I could never see you in that kind of motif.
Well, that looks like a Spartan outfit, a Greek outfit.
He is the Spartan warrior.
And I said this is a gladiator sport, and here we have a true gladiator coming to the ring right now.
Told us yesterday, this is the fight of my life, and I never underestimate an old dog like Yoel Casamayor.
Michael Katsidis is such a hard, rugged fighter. It almost feels like he breaks down his opponents even as they hit him. And every punch he lands seems to stay with his opponent the rest of the fight. Unlike Juan Diaz, who lost to Nate Campbell, the undefeated glittering star of the lightweight division, who's not a big puncher, Katsidis is dangerous throughout the entire fight because he has knockout power.
And despite all that power and despite all that aggression, as Casamayor gets right in his face, the stare down before the stare down. Little pushing and shoving from the handlers of each fighter. Wow.
Little mind game from the veteran.
Let me tell you, this always makes for a great fight when they always kind of get it together before the fight. These guys mean business.
His headgear got a bit dislodged. Let's hope that doesn't happen to his head over the 12 rounds. Time for the introductions. Here's our ring announcer, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions in association with Northeast Promotions from the Morongo Resort and Spa in Cabazon, California. Sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza with Attitude. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission with Chairman Kim Noonan and Executive Director Armando Garcia. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at ringside are Marty Denkin, Alex Rochin, and Jon Stewart. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the ring is Jon Schorle. And now, live on HBO, it's time to do battle in the squared ring of champions. This fight is 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO interim and the Ring Magazine Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with gold, weighing in at 133 3/4 pounds. He holds a perfect professional record of 23 wins, with 20 wins by way of knockout and no losses. From Toowoomba, Australia, he is the current defending WBO interim lightweight champion of the world, Michael Cassidis. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with silver, weighing in at 134 1/4 pounds, holding a professional record of 35 wins, including 21 wins by way of knockout, with 3 losses and 1 draw. From Guantanamo, Cuba, he is the current defending Ring Magazine lightweight champion of the world, Joel Casamayor.
How are you? Find out what you are, boy.
Okay, guys, for the WBO title. Expect a good, clean fight from both of you. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Couple of weeks ago, we saw when Nate Campbell beat Juan Diaz, what a 36-year-old cagey veteran can do when properly motivated against an overconfident, young, undefeated fighter. The difference here, as I mentioned earlier, is while Juan Diaz is an excellent fighter, he's not a puncher. Katsidis is a puncher, and therefore remains dangerous all 12 rounds.
Casamayor can't wait to get started. Jon Schorle awaits the bell. We're underway. Casamayor and Katsidis. Lennox, early on in this fight, Casamayor's got all the experience. We've documented that. Good left hand is down. Goes Katsidis.
His legs look a little bit shaky still, maybe from that shot once he was on the ground.
Well, it looked more like a flash knockdown. Stop! You know, when you get knocked down like that in the first round, it's always like a little flash knockdown, something you're unexpected.
He walked right into that left hand from Casamayor.
Well, something we hadn't mentioned.
Hand it down, goes Katsidis again.
And let me tell you, that was right on the chin. I don't know if he's going to be able to recover from this one.
There is no 3 knockdown rule. Katsidis has been down twice here in the first minute.
It's the southpaw stance that's giving him trouble right now. He can't see that straight left hand coming for whatever reason.
That's why it's always important to spar against left and southpaws, because, you know, when you're in the ring, you're used to orthodox boxers, and you're used to slipping a certain way. But if you're slipping that same way, you're slipping yourself into a southpaw's left hand.
Blistering start for Casamayor, knocking down Katsidis twice here in the first with straight left hands.
And I know Cassidis was, he was prepared for this fight. He was looking forward to it. He was very eager to get into the ring, but
as you mentioned earlier, Lennox, it's a properly motivated Casamayor this time, as opposed to the last time out where he was kind of buried on the undercard of a pay-per-view fight against a less than glittery name. Here he's the main event against an undefeated action fighter, and he is properly motivated, Lennox, and relying on that experience.
Lennox, I was going to ask you, how does a young guy who's stepping up in class deal with the first round nerves. I'm sure you weren't going to say getting knocked down twice.
Well, you can either get knocked down twice and come back from it, or get knocked down twice and get deflated from it. Now we're going to have to see if Cassidis can actually come back from this. But he's still putting on the pressure. He's pushing this fight.
Listen to me.
Don't
complain.
Not listening to the break instructions. Cassidis trying to jump in with the right hand.
Cassidis is running in straight forward. This is why he got caught with his two right hands. And he's still making that same mistake.
He walked into both left hands here in the first round and got dropped twice.
Now that's the face of an action hero.
That's all right.
Bloody.
Good, pick him up. You clear now? Good, good. Okay, suck him up. Miguel will do his thing, eh? Give me another breath.
Oh,
Good, good. Okay, now listen.
And here we see Cassidis running in and getting caught with a good left hook. Same again, same punch.
Well, here's the second knockdown, Lennox. Again, a left hand.
He ducks the same way a southpaw throws his left hand, and you know, these are mistakes that orthodox boxers make when they box a southpaw.
Round number 2. Let's see if Katsidis can make the adjustment.
Look, there's no Arturo Gatti without the times that Gatti was down and hurt in fights. And this is why Katsidis is compared to Gatti, because he is vulnerable and he does have the will to come back. Coming back against a great fighter, even if he is an older one, though that remains to be seen.
Stop! Don't do that.
You just lobbed a 13th question onto this 12-round question that we had going into this fight.
Stop!
The Australian fans here to support Katsidis start a chant of Michael, trying to get him going a little bit.
Stop.
There's a left hand again from Casamayor. Katsidis, this guy that had over 80 amateur fights, he made the Olympics. Casamayor off balance there. I don't think he was hurt. I think he was just off balance. He made the Olympics in 2000. You would think that it was a low blow. You'd think you'd see some southpaws before.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can never really get used to southpaws because you don't see too much of them.
This isn't any old southpaw. You know, how many southpaws of the last decade or two have been better than Casamayor?
This is what I'm talking about, the caginess of Casamayor. You know, he doesn't really have to do too much work. You know, Cassidis is coming to him, so all he has to do is wait for Cassidis to come and counterpunch him. Because Cassidis is always in front of his face. You know, he's a bit over-eager right now, and that makes him a bit tense. And, you know, he looks like a tense fighter. He's not relaxed. Casamayor is more relaxed and fluent with his shots, right?
And you know, with 2 knockdowns in round number 1, Casamayor doesn't have to take chances now.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, that's you know, Casamayor has stunk a few fights out, but he's also been involved in some very good action fights, a little bit underrated in terms of the level of action he produces. But here, you're right, Bob. He has a big lead on the scorecards already. He can tie up Katsidis anytime he feels threatened.
Katsidis threw a right, Casamayor answered with a left.
As he does just there.
Plus, Casamayor knows he can hurt Cassidis with any punch, especially that left hand. Cassidis is saying he doesn't want to show Casamayor no respect, and you know that no respect's got him knocked down twice.
The left hand of Casamayor, and he goes at Katsidis a little, getting in the head of the younger Katsidis.
Good, good. Through the middle, through the middle. This is an easy fight, but look, listen to me. He's not fast. Throw your jab. It's all good.
Oh yes, Casamayor getting hit with a right and coming back with a left hand on Katsidis.
And then kind of taunting Katsidis at the end of the round. Remember Katsidis' last fight against Cesar Amensat back in July, badly cut in that fight as well, a 12-round decision victory. What can Katsidis do to sort of get into a better flow? Because right now Casamayor is dictating the turn.
Well, he hasn't thrown the jab yet. In order to get in, he's trying to get in, but he's got to throw the jab to get in. He's just trying to, wave his way in and rough his way in, but it's difficult against a slick boxer like Casamayor.
To illustrate your point, according to CompuBox, through the first 2.5 rounds, he's 3 of 16 with his jab.
Katsidis said against Amensat in his last fight where he was cut and he was getting hit a bit, he said he had to turn it into a kind of a wild, ugly, brawling kind of fight. I don't know if ugly is the right word, but not a very technical fight at any rate. He thought that was in his best interest, and in fact, he wound up winning by knockout. Is that in his best interest here, Lennox? He seems to be brawling a little more this round and maybe disrupting Casamayor's rhythm a bit.
Well, this is his style of fight, and it's not a pretty style, but, only on certain fighters it can be effective. Against a slick guy like Casamayor, it's difficult to be effective because, he's always moving and giving you different angles. He's not going to be there to receive any shots. He hasn't been hit any shots, really, since this fight.
Yeah, he was able to get Amensat turn it into what he wanted to because Amensat allowed him to. Casamayor is a whole different level. Good left hand by Casamayor.
Katsidis has landed some effective punches in this round for the first time.
Some effective punches, but to this point, Max, is enough to be winning the round.
Holding, man, holding.
I don't think Katsidis plans on winning a decision here. But point well taken.
Casamayor blocking most of that. Katsidis is saying he doesn't want to let up on the pressure. He wants to keep this pressure for the whole 3 minutes of this fight. Every second looking for that opportunity.
End of round 3.
Much better, mate. Much better. Suck them up now. Relax while you've got the time to enjoy the rest, eh? Want a sip?
Yep.
Righto, the first 3/4 of it, nice. Then you went off on the top a bit, okay? I want you to stick with the same again for me. Give me another breath. Okay, you feel his power starting to die out there a bit? Okay, the only time he's catching you is when you hunt the top and he's catching you with the shot. But if you close it up...
Down the trunk. I'm doing good. Please. Water down the trunk. That's all. Everything's good. Everything's perfect. Up the middle.
Joel Casamayor dropping Michael Katsidis twice in round number 1 as we begin round number 4. Let's check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Lennox.
Okay, Bob. 2 rounds to 1. 29-26. Joel Casamayor. You know what? The old man is boxing really nicely. He's got to get a 10-7 round for those 2 knockdowns in round 1. He's boxing 1 in round 2. I think Katsidis got to him in round 3. Got to tell you an interesting quick story. Armando Garcia, the chairman of the California State Athletic Commission, made Joel Casamayor shave yesterday when Katsidis' people said his beard was too long, and they said Casamayor comes in with his head, and he possibly could cut Katsidis with the beard.
A little grooming advice for Casamayor.
In fact, Casamayor has a deserved reputation for using a bag full of tricks, read a dirty fighter, but it's Katsidis who's been using his head a little bit and hitting on the brake and roughhousing at least as much as Casamayor, who did hit Katsidis when he was down in the first round.
Right on the inside by Katsidis. Like for a veteran like Casamayor, as Casamayor shoots a left to the body, Katsidis comes back. Casamayor a little low with that left hand. There's a combination that staggers Casamayor. Casamayor is hurt. A 2-punch combination, right hand from Katsidis. Right to the chin. Right hand again by Katsidis. Plenty of time to go in the round. Right hand to the chest by Katsidis. They exchange crosses. Casamayor is in some trouble with 1 minute to go.
Stop!
And yet Casamayor is also throwing some dangerous shots here.
Let him go.
Casamayor trying to tie up Katsidis. Right hand by Katsidis. Casamayor shoots a left again. Tremendous action here in the 4th.
Casamayor is really letting it hang loose. He's a bit weary right now, a bit tired. He's doing the right thing. As Katsidis is coming in, he's throwing a combination, then holding him, or then tying him up.
Caution for a low blow.
And you can see why the comparisons are made to Arturo Gatti.
Casamayor
Dropped twice early in the first round.
Casamayor, a late punch there.
Katsidis comes storming back to hurt Casamayor here in the 4th.
Let's go. Are you good? Yes.
And you see Katsidis hurting Casamayor with a right hand, then a hook, and then a right hand. Casamayor is a bit hurt right there. There's that right hand, left hook, right hand again.
Swelling under the right eye of Katsidis as we begin round 5. Scheduled for 12. Katsidis down twice in round 1. He hurt Casamayor in the 4th. It's interesting because Casamayor did some good work even after he got hurt, though. Enough to not make that one of those dominant rounds where even though there's not a knockdown, you'd say 10-8 Katsidis.
Look, he went for the money punch, the punch that's always been working for him, which is that left hand.
Is it me, Lennox, or does Casamayor look like he's getting a little wider with some of his punches?
He's getting a bit tired, and this is what happens. As you go through a fight, your punches get a bit wider as you get a little tired.
You know, I was comparing him to Gatti, to Arturo Gatti Katsidis. But unlike Gatti, who would start fights trying to box and then wind up brawling if the boxing wasn't working, Katsidis is pure brawl. Katsidis right at you.
Landed a good right hand in that sequence.
And his defense is part of his attack. In other words, when Gotti would play defense, there was a disconnect. Defense, 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 then offense. With Katsidis, he has to try to avoid punches on his way in because he's always coming in.
That time he had the right glove up and he picked off the left from Casamayor.
And I did notice that he's made an adjustment by keeping his right hand a bit higher because he knows that Casamayor's money punches that left hook.
Nice subtle adjustment by Katsidis. In the last round, Katsidis did some good work to the body too against the 36-year-old. He missed that right hand. He got the right hand back in position to defend.
All Casamayor has to do is throw his punches because Katsidis is right in front of his face. And what Casamayor needs to do is, take a step to the side, always showing him angles. Don't back up straight to the ropes because that makes it easy for Katsidis. He needs to take that step to the left or to the right and counterpunch. Here he goes again, backing up. There's that step to the left. That's what he needs to do.
In a fight that looked as though Katsidis was just going to be outclassed, the momentum has shifted here. And while the outcome is still very much in doubt, in terms of who's going to actually win this fight, low blow, Casamayor retaliated.
Give him up.
Go. The outcome is still very much up in the air, but the momentum has certainly shifted.
Good left hand on the inside by Katsidis to the body.
Break. Casamayor doesn't like those body shots. This is what hurt him the last time because he dropped his hands and allowed Katsidis to throw that left hook, right hand, and catch him on the chin.
End of round number 5. A lot of action so far between Michael Katsidis and Yoel Casamayor. Speaking of action, you do not want to miss the rebroadcast. Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao as they squared off in the ring last Saturday night. The rematch after their controversial draw a couple of years ago. Wow, what flow in this fight. Back and forth they went. Pacquiao using those long arms. Manuel Marquez digging in. They traded big shots. Marquez went down in the fight. Both were bloodied, but they fought through it. You do not want to miss the rebroadcast coming up on HBO's Boxing After Dark. We begin round number 6. In the last round, Casamayor threw only 42 punches, according to CompuBox, his lowest punch output so far in the fight.
You see, even when Casamayor pushes Katsidis back, tries to walk him back, lands a punch to drive him back, Katsidis is right back in his chest.
And Katsidis has a lot of pressure. He's given Casamayor a lot of pressure in this fight. And pressure really can break a boxer, especially if he's unprepared and he wants to do something. His body's not really adjusting to that. Katsidis unrelentless with his pressure. Takes a step back and he's back in on it.
Going into this fight, I didn't want to say it, but there are parallels here. He's fighting for the lightweight championship here, Katsidis, as a crude brawler who's perceived as perhaps not experienced enough for the cagey champion. So was Rocky Marciano when he fought Jersey Joe Walcott for the heavyweight championship. Marciano was dropped early in that fight, and he came back to knock Walcott out in the 13th round. We only go 12 nowadays, but if there's anyone who's capable of scoring a dramatic come-from-behind knockout of a guy like Casamayor, it's Michael Katsidis.
Katsidis dropped in round number 1, not once, but twice from left hand from Casamayor. Hand on the inside. Left hook. Casamayor, many believe, is the linear lightweight champion based on who beat who. Because keeping track of belts is impossible.
Right. The sanctioning bodies have no real legitimate authority to call anyone champion. They've squandered whatever legitimacy they've had.
Casamayor got hurt again. Through the ropes with a right hand. He went back on him with a body shot and a right hand.
7, 8.
There you go. Here, okay?
Gets in the ring within the 10-second framework. Katsidis jumps right back on him. Left hand by Katsidis. Shoots a right hand to the head. Casamayor trying to back away. Katsidis trying to land the home run. He's going to run out of time. Late shot there by Katsidis.
Don't wait, don't wait. Don't wait.
Next, let's take a look at the knockdown.
And here it is.
Right to the body.
It's a left to the body. Then a left hook. Knocked him off balance. And then a barrage of punches.
It was the body shot. It was the body shot that collapsed him.
that really opened it up. Like I said, Casamayor doesn't like that body shot. That crippled him for a second. As you can see, he bends down low and he's waving in with his head. And he got knocked off balance. Still suffering from that body shot. Got knocked down.
Let's check in with an unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob. 4 rounds to 2.
Sorry, Harold, but Katsidis unsportsmanlike there. Finish, please, Harold.
Okay, 4 rounds to 2. 56-55, Michael Katsidis. Bob, he's on a 4-round winning streak. He's won the last 4 rounds in a row with that body punching. One quick thing, if you go through the ropes and you're on the apron, you got 10 seconds to get back. If you go off the apron onto the floor, you got 20 seconds to go back. Bob.
All right, Harold. You know, it's interesting. The way this is going, I don't see it going to the decision, but that round number 3 is an interesting round on the scorecard because it was, depending on what you like, that's one of the swing rounds that you'll find in fights.
I think you're right, Bob. I don't think this one's going the distance.
Casamayor dropped Katsidis twice in round 1, controlled round number 2. It's been a different story since.
See, this is what Casamayor needs to do. He needs to move and throw punches.
Oh, beats a right hand. Fires back this Casamayor. Is he moving in too many straight lines, though, where Katsidis can get him even when he moves away?
No, once he moves to the side, he's got to throw punches. Because Katsidis is giving you some unrelentless power. He's just on you every second. He's not letting up.
Yeah, I called at the top of the show Katsidis a good young fighter against Casamayor, the great or once great old fighter. Once in a while, a guy comes along who really should only be good, but turns out great. And Katsidis has not yet done anything in his young career to disqualify himself from that category.
Stop. You know, when you brought up the Gaddy to him during the meetings, hey, it's an honor, but I got to prove it in the ring. Nice to hear it, but I have to prove it in the ring.
Gotti was a very good fighter. Good fighter. Rocky Marciano was a great fighter. And Katsidis has not yet eliminated himself from that possibility.
Casamayor.
He's taking some excellent shots from Casamayor throughout the fight. He got up, dusted himself off against a motivated, great old fighter, and he is carrying this fight since the early rounds.
We heard Casamayor in the 4th, dropped him in the 6th.
Break.
And there's pressure, and then there's pressure. The level of pressure Katsidis is exerting is really debilitating.
Casamayor holds on at the end of the 7th.
Es 8. Mira. Lo mismo cosa, por tú haces caer más grande, entonces fuerte, ¿me entiendes? Vamos.
5 más, somos campeones mundiales 4 veces. Vamos.
¿Sí,
Vamos.
Miguel?
Tú vienes para Cuba. Vino de Cuba a hacer esto. Vamos. Vamos al party.
Let's go. 4 more rounds.
Está bien.
Round number 8 underway. What a battle it's been. Yoel Casamayor dropping Michael Katsidis twice in round number 1. Casamayor hurt in the 4th, dropped in the 6th. Pressure continues from Katsidis.
Katsidis is doing this well against Casamayor. He's still so early in his career, so crude. Doesn't really get low enough to avoid a lot of punches. Still very easy to hit. He can be dropped, he can be hurt, he can be cut. We've seen it all in this fight alone. And yet, there he is, forcing the action, landing bombs.
Nice, we did see him make that slight adjustment though, keeping the right hand up to try to pick off some of those lefts.
And if you notice, he's still coming forward, I would love him to throw a little more jabs on his way in. But he realizes Casamayor doesn't like those body shots, so he's trying to work to the body.
Illustrate that point. CompuBox numbers, he's 17 of 62 in the fight with the jabs. Casamayor 51 of 201. Jabs.
And again, what's on the line here is no sanctioning body belt. Forget them. This is for the lineal, true lightweight championship. Casamayor is the man who beat the man. Though Nate Campbell's upset win over Juan Diaz a couple weeks ago makes him, in many people's view, the #1 guy in the division. Best fighter in the division is not always the champion. In boxing history, the title's been passed usually in a lineal way, meaning from one guy to the next guy who beats him. Only in modern boxing history especially has sanctioning body corruption and stripping of belts resulted in the confusion we now have. So let's make it simple. The championship of the world.
Casamayor's done a better job this round of moving, staying away from Katsidis' unrelentless pressure.
As you mentioned, Lex, he's been able to punch off some of that movement. Katsidis just kind of runs right back at him. Missed with the left hand, flicks out a right. Those 2 rounds, Casamayor was in complete control. Chopping left from Katsidis.
Nice and deep. Give me 3 again, mate. 3 again. Can we get a bit of ice on his back? Thanks, Luke.
No water.
Sit.
Breathe to your mouth, mate.
Don't let him get his tail up now, alright? I want you to stay on top of this. Because you're starting to get a bit tough, start to think who you are and where you want to go out of this, alright? I need you to lift a little bit, with not with going madness, but I want you to lift up a bit. You're doing everything right. You can...
Si tú ganas, pero jab. Pongo la cabeza abajo.
Sube la guardia arriba. La guardia arriba tiene que subirla, ¿ok? Y el movimiento, hay que trabajar fuerte.
Movement.
No hay distancia, sigue tu ritmo,
According to CompuBox numbers, the last round, round 8, the first round since the 3rd, where Casamayor actually outlanded Katsidis. It was 18-7 and connects. Left hand by Katsidis to start the round.
As we were saying a few rounds ago, this one's not going the distance. Here we find ourselves in the 9th. Maybe it will. Maybe it will go the distance.
Oh, going to take a point away for a low blow.
Oh, I thought he should have gave him a warning first. You got to give a guy a warning.
But he has given each man warnings.
Yeah,
about
but you
low
know what?
blows.
Especially a cagey old fighter like Casamayor, if he's going to hit you low intentionally, he'll do it where the referee can't see. That was in clear view of the ref, and so I find it hard to believe it was intentional.
Well, what he did was he put his head down and threw an uppercut, but he wasn't looking and seeing where the uppercut was going to land. He just felt that Cassidis was going to be in front of him for that uppercut.
Casamayor wants to hit you low. He'll wait till the referee's on the far side, doesn't have a view, and with the hand that's farthest from the ref, with the ref's vision obscured, he'll hit low with the far hand.
And I wouldn't really call that a hit. I would call it a tap. He got tapped low.
That wasn't a tap on Katsidis' jaw right there.
Good left hand by Casamayor. Cassidis steps in with a combination. Casamayor dips away.
Casamayor seemed to have made an adjustment in the last several rounds to mitigate some of what Katsidis was able to do successfully in the early middle rounds.
And you know what that was? He started moving, getting on his toes, being cagey, using his experience. This is where his experience is going to definitely come in.
Have you ever found during the course of a fight where your legs come back?
Well, you know, different people reach different heights at certain times in a fight. Like for me, I was a latecomer. I started off slow but ended strong. And this may be the result in Casamayor's corner. He may do the same thing. He may start off slow, or start off fast, then have a little lull in the fight, and then finish strong.
Might have knocked him to a wall.
Casamayor's managed to somewhat change the momentum in the last several rounds of this fight. Can Katsidis change it back again?
Right hand from Katsidis.
Not that Casamayor has necessarily won these rounds, but his situation doesn't seem as desperate as it did 3 or 4 rounds ago.
Casamayor has found that left hand again. He's able to find the mark. End of 9.
What round have we got, Lupe? Lupe?
11.
In the 9th.
In the 9th coming up.
11.
Shush.
Bruce.
And breathe.
Bruce, give me that water.
Hey, mate. Listen, stay with me.
Estamos bien. Estamos bien. Abrí la faja.
And let's take a look at that low blow. It just seemed like Casamayor's head was really low. He didn't pick up his head before he threw the uppercut, and he was just too low for that uppercut.
Well, the low blow, Casamayor loses a point, which, if you talk about some swing rounds, that could be a huge factor in this fight.
Yeah, given the stakes, seems an unnecessary.
Oh! Katsidis got caught!
And let me tell you, he got caught coming in, throwing a
He
shot.
get his legs back in the next few seconds, guys. That's what this fighter's
Referee's giving him a lot of
always
time.
thinking about this. Can't Katsidis get his legs back?
He got dropped twice in the first, then here, and he's hurt again, and it's stopped! Jon Schorle steps in and stops it.
What a shocking turn of events when it looked by the 4th or 5th round that Katsidis was beating the fight out of Casamayor, that the script was being written, the young new fighter on the scene was going to emerge as lightweight champion. For the old lion to pull off that kind of knockout
And let me
was
tell you,
incredible.
Cassidis helped himself get knocked out. He ran into a shot and ran onto Casamayor's left hand and got knocked out that way.
Lennox, that's what he did in rounds 1 and 2, and he avoided that mistake, but he made that mistake in round 10.
You know, he was eager. He's like an over-eager beaver, and this type of over-eager beaver gets you in trouble.
He told us patience would be the key, but he lost his patience.
Right, you cannot run in with your hands down.
Guys, by the 4th or 5th round, I'm sorry, Katsidis to me had all the look of a fighter of destiny. That he was destined to overcome these early obstacles and go on and win the way he was hurting Casamayor. But
let's take a look. Here it is. He comes running in. Here he comes. Boom, it gets caught right on the jaw. I didn't even see that punch coming. He was focused more on landing his own punches than concentrating on defense. Here's another look from a different angle. It was that left hook, that same sweet punch, that honey punch that knocked down Katsidis in the first couple rounds. And this is where the referee really had to step in and stop the fight.
There's a good short right hand in there by Casamayor, right on the chin.
I don't know about that stoppage, guys. I don't think it was a bad stoppage. I wouldn't second guess the referee and say it was bad, but I'm not sure that he was unable to continue.
But Max, you know, looking at the face as you get a fist pump from Casamayor.
What do you do when a fighter gives you his glove? I guess you gotta give him your hand, right?
You can't leave him hanging.
But you can't leave him hanging.
Looking at the face of Katsidis after the fight was stopped, he looked hurt.
Yes, he did.
He looked hurt, so I cannot disagree with Jon Schorle.
I would not criticize the referee. There's a difference between saying if I were the ref, I may not have stopped that, and saying that the ref had a bad stoppage. That was not a bad stoppage. It's a judgment call.
But if you were the judge or ref, would you stop it?
I would not have, but maybe I would be wrong.
I would have stopped it.
I think many people would have.
All right, official time to stoppage. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jon Schorle has called a stop to this contest at 30 seconds of round number 10, declaring the winner by knockout, and now the new WBO interim lightweight champion of the world, and still the Ring Magazine lightweight champion of the world, Joel Casamayor.
Casamayor gets his 22nd stoppage, and what an impressive stoppage it was of Michael Katsidis. 30 seconds of round number 10. Take a look at the final punch stats in the fight. For Joel Casamayor and Michael Katsidis, you see the connects relatively close, only 19 different. Casamayor a bit busier, the percentage about the same. Casamayor with the power punches. You see Katsidis threw more. He landed 20 more. Casamayor had a better percentage. Remember, Katsidis was down twice in round number 1, and then that left hand to the chin in round number 10 ended the fight. So Casamayor answered a lot of questions at 36 years of age, coming off a poor performance against Jose Santa Cruz, and he takes it to the young lion, Michael Katsidis, stopping him in the 10th round. Max Kellerman is standing by with the winner, Joel Casamayor.
Thanks, guys. There's a little bit of commotion about who is going to interpret. I understand you speak with a Cuban dialect and you have your own interpreter. We also have our interpreter. We'll get it done. Joel, you champ, congratulations. You drop him twice in the first round. What did you see early that made you think he was open for that left hand?
No. Él preguntó, okay, he doesn't understand him. Él preguntó qué fue lo que viste para meter la mano izquierda.
Yo vi, era un peleador que no era fuerte más, y que tenía más empuje, que no tenía pegada. Y yo me dijiste tú, tenía que sentarme en mi golpe para meterlo en la mano, y lo sentí la mano.
He saw a very, very strong fighter, not a good puncher, but a very strong. Okay, he knew he had to sit on some shit to really hit him and hurt him.
You had to get his respect early. Was that the idea?
Tenía que coger el respeto de él temprano.
No, yo tenía que meter la mano temprano para que vea que va a sentar mi mano, pero yo nunca tuve respeto a él. Yo supe siempre que era inferior a él y que en cualquier round le podía meter la mano, pero tenía la pelea. Me enredaba porque me quitaron un punto, pero
He says, you know,
y tú me dijiste a mí que había que noquearlo, me retiraron, no sabemos eso.
He said, you know, that the referee took a point from him, Okay, but he knew he had to sit down. I went and told him in the corner, you got to knock this down, because I felt that because he was rushing, he was coming forward, he might be behind. He sat down, took him out.
Okay, did I understand right? You said Katsidis is not a good puncher?
Casini no es un pegador tan bueno.
No, bueno, a mí yo no sentí el golpe porque yo tengo una queja, pero él lo tiene mucha presión, pero él no, yo nunca sentí su golpe él.
He's not that good of a puncher. He puts a lot of pressure on you.
He does put a lot of pressure, but he seemed to badly hurt you around the 4th or 5th round. Were you not badly hurt?
No, ahí lo que rebalé, me dejó por el brazo.
He says he slipped when he went out of the ring. That's all he got. He slipped out of the ring.
No me sentí un golpe.
He never got hurt and he slipped.
His pressure seemed to change the momentum of the fight. And then the momentum of the fight changed again. What did you do to change the momentum of the fight later on when it seemed Katsidis was coming on?
Dice, ¿qué tú hiciste para cambiar cuando Cassidis venía para adelante? ¿Qué tú hiciste para poder cambiar el tempo de la pelea? Para poder cambiar la pelea para favorita tuya.
Lo que me dio la esquina, lo que tú me dijiste a mí, que había que chocar.
What I told him, I said, just go out there, sit down, and knock this dude out, okay? I thought they were gonna rob us, like they'd done 3 other fights. I told him, sit down, you got to take this guy out, and that's exactly what we did.
You win some robberies, you lose some robberies, but Champ, you're the lightweight champion of the world, but Nate Campbell, because he beat Juan Diaz a couple weeks ago, is regarded by many as the #1 lightweight in the world. Would you like to fight Nate Campbell?
Yo no, a mí nunca me importa porque yo le gané esta semana de entrenamiento y yo estoy en pelea grande, yo quiero pelear con los grandes, con Pacquiao, con Barrera, Morales. A mí no importa, eso es un pesado que yo le torear.
Listen, I beat Nate Campbell with 3 months. I mean, with 3 weeks of training, and I backed the puncher up. Now I want Pacquiao, I want Barrera, I want another fighter.
You want the big money fights, the big names from the featherweight and junior lightweight divisions who are moving up?
Tú quieres las peleas grandes de dinero, las peleas grandes que los de para ti grandes, ¿verdad?
Sí, porque soy un buen campeón.
It's exactly, that's what he's looking for. The big money fights.
Thank you, champ. Nate Campbell's here saying they can make the fight. Nate Campbell wants Casamayor. Michael Katsidis, you sure look like the next Arturo Gatti. You did not come away with a win, however. Tell me what happened. All right, guys. Tell me what happened.
Well, they say age is wasted on the youth, and I had that fight, but I went out there and I went stupid, and I got excited. Look, this is every fight that I've had, the plot has thickened and they've become bigger progressively, and look, I just got excited at the last minute and got caught, and what can I say? I did my best, and you know, that's...
You were caught twice in the first round, and then not again the way he caught you at the end. What adjustment were you able to make that enabled you to avoid those big shots throughout many of the middle rounds?
It's all mental, you know, like I had to do it, focus with my mind to win that fight, and it was my mistake that I didn't do that in the entire fight, and look, that's experience, and I'll take that one down, and I'll go on from there.
Do you feel you were able to continue at the end?
Oh, look, you know, look, I've got to look at that from the outside in to know that. Look, I wasn't, you know, I was fighting at the time, so look, I'm not one to say that. The referee did his job, and that's all I can say about that.
Michael Katsidis, thank you for another spectacular fight. We hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, and sorry Australia, I did my best, and happy Easter. Love you, Mum.
Bob?
Dejection from Michael Katsidis, a valiant effort. He got dropped twice in round number 1, able to come back and take control of the fight. Before the fight, we said there'd be